Peter managed to transfer Aunt May into a different hospital, but under a false name. But he doesn't have the proper medical insurance, and that it would be a matter of time before Aunt May is transferred to a welfare hospital. Desperate for options, Parker decided to search for help. He started with Stark, whom he originally sided before defecting to the Secret Avengers under Captain America's side. The Avengers Tower identified Peter as an intruder, and Parker was attacked by Tony Stark. Tony wanted to arrest Parker, but after hearing about Aunt May's situation, he decided not to. He told Peter to leave it be with Aunt May. The next day, Jarvis, Tony's butler, who was in love with Aunt May, arrived at the hospital and gave the hospital a large cash deposit to pay for the bills. But the doctor told Peter that while the cash is there, they can only ease her suffering, but her condition is already terminal. Peter then kissed MJ goodbye and left to search for other ways to save May's life. He went to visit Doctor Strange at the Sanctum Sanctorum. Strange offers to use the hands of the dead to transport Peter to multiple places at once to ask various heroes and villains for help in his quest to save his Aunt May. However, each and everyone proves to be unable to help Peter. He even attempts to go back in time using a magical spell without Doctor Strange's approval, hurting himself in the process. Doctor Strange heals his wounds and sends him on his way, encouraging him to just be by Aunt May's side at her deathbed. Peter then left the place and figured that he will do anything to change of what happened to Aunt May. He knew that Strange has used his hands of the dead earlier, but Peter decided to sneak into the Sanctum Sanctorum to try his luck again. As Peter remembered the steps that Strange did to activate the hands of the dead, Peter decided to travel in time and space again to ask for several heroes and villains for help. As he was venturing there, he saw a little girl in a red dress that offered to help him, but at a price. The little girl seemed harmless, as the hands of the dead allowed one to be at many places at the same time across time and space. Parker was also in New York City on the streets. There he came across Johnny Blaze, Ghost Rider. He figured that Ghost Rider might be able to help him somehow, as his bike can travel through time and space. Ghost Rider said that while he can travel time, he has not yet personally tried it out yet, and the chances of failure is higher than it is success rate. Ghost Rider felt that something was strange with Spider-Man's soul and asked where he was. Spider-Man then said that he is in the Sanctum Sanctorum, using Doctor Strange's Hand of the Dead spell. Ghost Rider asked if Peter is communicating with someone else at the same time he is talking with him. Peter said that right now a girl in a red dress said that she could help him. Ghost Rider told Parker not to continue communicating with the girl, as he feels that something is amiss with her. Parker was puzzled as Ghost Rider immediately took his bike and went to Peter's direction. He turned around and saw that the girl morphed into the devil himself, Mephisto. Mephisto said that Ghost Rider should not be a part of their problem. He said that Ghost Rider would not be able to solve his problem of Aunt May. Parker then asked what he has to do in return to save May's life. Mephisto then replied that he wants the marriage of Peter Parker in return for Aunt May's survival. A group of men appeared around Parker. Mephisto said that these men were from other alternate realities where Peter Parker never became Spider-Man. Peter saw that each of these men were living a much more peaceful life with their own loved ones. He also saw Uncle Ben and Aunt May were still alive in their own timelines. Mephisto told Peter that he has until the end of midnight to make his final decision. Just then, they both heard a sound of a bike vrooming across the streets. There was also sounds of chains rattling against the streets. Mephisto turned around and saw that Ghost Rider himself has appeared. Mephisto said that he doesn't have any business with Ghost Rider, as Peter is the main subject of this conversation. The Rider then whipped his chains and held Mephisto. He said that he will be freed from Mephisto's tricks that turned him into Ghost Rider. Spider-Man could only watch as the events unfolded between the Rider and Mephisto. Mephisto knew that the Ghost Rider filled with vengeance would eventually overpower him. During the battle, Ghost Rider would suddenly start behaving differently, much to the surprise of both Spider-Man and also Mephisto. They then saw that Ghost Rider completely changed and became much better than how he originally looked. The demon Zaratha, which bonded between Johnny Blaze, managed to take control of the Ghost Rider, becoming more violent. Johnny Blaze's body became stronger, with Johnny becoming the spirit of Zaratha. Countless of other personalities that weren't in contact with Zaratha wanted to overtake Johnny's body. Mephisto knew that if he wants to win, he has to do it on his own realm, Hell. He opened a portal that transported both him and Ghost Rider to Hell, where Mephisto is much stronger. But before the portal could close, Zaratha managed to conjure a bolt of lightning and hit it at Mephisto. Mephisto dodged it, but Spider-Man's soul, who was still using the Hands of Death, was hit. This caused Spider-Man's soul back in the Sanctum Sanctorum to be injured. He lost control of the Hands of Death, and this caused a small fragment in the multiverse. Doctor Strange realized and immediately used his mystic powers to close the Hands of Death spell and bring back Peter from the astral dimension. Peter's soul was injured and Strange started healing him. Sometime later, Peter woke up. He told Strange of everything that happened. Strange said that this is another problem, as with Ghost Rider locked in Hell, he could forever be doomed there since Hell is the realm of Mephisto, and nothing can be done. Even if Spider-Man were to enter Hell, he would be destroyed easily considering his situation. Parker then asked Strange if there was no other options. Before Strange replied, Peter's spidey sense started tingling. The doorbell then rang. Strange went to the door, but there was nobody there. In Peter's room, Peter saw the symbol of the devil appearing on the ground. A man emerged from the flames. Strange was surprised that the man was able to breach the Sanctum Sanctorum barriers. Strange and Peter went into defensive position. The man said that they need not to be cautious of him, as he is here to help them. He said he has detected a distortion in Hell, and that the source came from the Sanctum Sanctorum. That is why he came here. He introduced himself as Damian Hellstorm, the son of Satan, and he is here to help Peter and Strange to free Ghost Rider and defeat Mephisto himself. But before he could do that, he said that the small fragment caused Zaratha's attacks on Mephisto has been released some people into this world. They need to track them first to send them back to their own universes. Hellstorm said that there were 2 people who were sent to this world during the attack. Peter donned back his suit, while Strange said that he needed to monitor the multiverse and repair the barrier around the Sanctum Sanctorum. Hellstorm and Peter then headed to search for the first person, Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099. Hellstorm, the son of Satan, and Peter Parker combined forces as they searched for Miguel O'Hara. Parker asked of how he knew that this would be their missing person. Hellstorm said that with the battle between Zaratha and Mephisto happened, he felt the presence of Miguel entering this realm. Since they only have till midnight before Mephisto will come back with his bargain to save Aunt May's life, Hellstorm said that if they really want to save Aunt May, they needed to defeat Mephisto, so that he would save Aunt May's life without any bargain in return. Hellstorm and Peter only had a few hours before midnight. Parker then heard on the police radio that they spotted someone who resembled Spider-Man scaling across the city and stopping crime with excessive force. Spider-Man said that this might be their target. If it was indeed true, Peter arrived at the scene where he saw a man with a blue and red suit just like him, except that the suit was in different color while his mask was black color. Spider-Man then confronted Miguel O'Hara and he told him to calm down and that he shouldn't do anything rash. Miguel was surprised to see another similar person like him and thought that he might be a foe. He fought with Spider-Man in a brief battle, they both similar in strength and fighting skills. Miguel then released his fangs and attempted to bite Peter to incapacitate him, but Peter's spider sense tingled, allowing him to dodge Miguel's fangs, and Miguel's fangs were venom and could only cause their enemies to be incapacitated. Peter, being the more experienced fighter, eventually bested Miguel and managed to restrain him. Peter then questioned of who Miguel was, and he is similar like him. Miguel O'Hara said that he is Spider-Man from the year 2099, much to the shock of Peter Parker. Peter introduced himself as Spider-Man from the present era. He then explained of the entire situation and how now also on how Miguel might have been teleported to the present era. At first, Miguel was hesitant to believe him, but when Hellstorm appeared and told Miguel that everything said by Peter was true, Miguel decided to believe him. Peter said that Miguel would be able to return back to his own timeline, but first, they need to find another person who also teleported to this world due to the time fragment split. Peter unwebbed Miguel, and together with Hellstorm, they started searching for the last person.